My father told me this story many years ago. Everyone in our area knows it. Our village lies in a mountainous region. Even today, it is much more modern. But 35 or 40 years ago, it was extremely remote and desolate. Very few people lived there. The story goes that about 40 years ago, a soldier from our village returned home on leave because the region was so underdeveloped. No bus or vehicle went directly to the village. The bus would drop passengers at a distant stop, and from there they had to walk through the hills to reach home. That night, the soldier was walking alone through a deserted path. As he passed near the forest, he suddenly heard the sound of a little girl crying at the edge of the road. Being a soldier, he was brave enough to investigate. Anyone else might have ignored it, but he stepped into the forest to see who was there. Inside, beneath a tree, he found a young woman sitting alone in the darkness, crying. He asked her how she had come there, where her home was, and why she was alone in the forest at night, but she could not remember anything. She had no memory of who she was or where she came from. Still crying, she begged the soldier to take her with him. He brought her home. The next day, word spread throughout the village that the soldier had brought a young woman from the forest. Everyone tried to find out who she was and where she came from, but she remembered nothing. People assumed she had lost her memory. Since the soldier was young and unmarried, and they lived in the same house, rumors began to spread. Eventually, the soldier's family and the villagers decided they should be married. The girl was very beautiful, and the soldier agreed. But before the wedding, the girl made one condition. She said, "I will obey every word you say. I will do all the housework. I will do everything you ask, but you must promise me one thing: never enter my room without knocking first." The soldier agreed. They married, and for many years, everything seemed normal. 10 or 12 years passed, and they had 3 children together. The soldier would come home on leave, stay for a while, and then return to duty. One morning, after another visit, the soldier prepared to leave. His wife cooked him a good meal and saw him off. He walked toward the bus stop, but after traveling some distance, he realized he had forgotten some essential items at home. In a hurry, he rushed back. In his panic, he forgot his wife's warning. Without knocking, he opened the door to her room. The moment he stepped inside, he froze in horror. His wife was baking bread on a clay stove. One of her feet was inside the burning oven. Strands of hair were scattered and burning in the fire. The soldier screamed, hearing his cry. The woman turned slowly toward him. Her eyes burned with rage. She stood up and shouted, "I told you never to enter my room without knocking." With that, she slapped him with such force that his neck twisted violently. Then she ran out of the house and vanished so quickly that no one ever saw where she went. The blow was so powerful that the soldier's neck remained bent for the rest of his life. No one ever saw the woman again. Even today, people in the village still talk about what happened, but no one knows who she truly was or where she came from. I am a 30-year-old woman, but what I am about to tell you happened when I was only 15 or 16 years old, back when I was in 9th grade. Even now, remembering it sends a cold shiver down my spine. At the time, I lived with my parents and my younger sister, who was 2 years younger than me. My father worked for the government, so we lived in government housing. When he received a promotion, we were assigned a larger house in the same colony. I was thrilled. For the first time in my life, I would have my own room. I believed this move would only bring happiness. I was wrong. From the very first day we stepped inside that house, something felt terribly wrong. I couldn't explain it, but a heavy sadness clung to the walls. During the day, the house was full of noise and activity, yet there was an unnatural silence beneath it. All an eerie stillness, as if something unseen was watching us, holding its breath. At times, the house felt hollow, like a body without a soul. I had a habit of staying up late at night. My parents and sister slept early in the room next to mine, while I stayed alone in my room, lying on a small cot and watching movies. The first few days passed without incident. Then, one night, everything changed. I was lying in bed when I heard a strange sound coming from the floor, a faint metallic hum. It lasted only a few seconds and stopped. I tried to convince myself it was nothing, but 4 or 5 minutes later, it returned. I muted the television completely. That was when I heard it clearly. It wasn't just a noise, it was the distinct jingling of like a woman walking slowly. Her footsteps heavy and deliberate. The sound came and went. 4 or 5 seconds of movement, followed by complete silence. Then, after a few minutes, it would return. My heart began pounding violently, so loud I was sure it could be heard. I felt it racing in my chest, threatening to burst. The sound wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from beneath me, from the floor. I thought of waking my parents, but to reach their room, I would have to open my door and step into the hallway. And the sound it seemed to move out there. Gathering every ounce of courage I had, I opened the door. The moment I did, the jingling returned. This time, it was directly in front of me, not to the side, not far away, right in front of me, as if an invisible woman was walking toward me slowly, gracefully like a newlywed bride taking her first steps. But there was no body, no shadow, no shape, only the sound, clear, sharp, undeniably real. I ran to my parents' room and woke them, shaking and crying. My father has never believed in such things. They were half asleep and dismissed what I said. That night, I slept in their room, trembling, afraid to close my eyes. For the next few days, nothing happened. I started telling myself it had been a nightmare. Then one night, it came back. The same sound, the same invisible footsteps, the jingling of anklets echoing through the house. It didn't happen every night, and there was no fixed time. Sometimes it was at 10, sometimes 11, sometimes past midnight. It came whenever it wanted. Slowly, I grew used to it, but one thing remained certain. She was there. It was not my imagination. We lived in that house for about 10 months. Nothing ever attacked us. No one attached me. Yet the presence was constant, oppressive like a silent threat, watching from the dark. One day, an uncle visited and casually asked if we had ever heard strange footsteps or a jingling sound in the house. My stomach dropped. He said he had heard it too. His entire family had. That was when my parents finally realized I hadn't been imagining anything. After performing a ritual, we learned the truth. There wasn't one spirit, not 2. There were 6. 6 unseen presences sharing that house with us. 6 shadows walking in the silence. A few months later, my father was assigned another house, and we moved away immediately. It has been more than 13 years since then. I don't know if those spirits still linger there, waiting for the next family. But even now, when the night grows too quiet, when I hear the faintest metallic jingle in the distance, my heart stops for a moment, because some houses are never truly empty.